You already know what it is. You already know what it is. You already know what it is.
I love
You
being
already know
black.
what it is.
I love being black.
You already know what it is.
I love being
You
black.
already know what it is.
I love being black.
You already know what it is.
I love being black.
Uncut, unedited. Tell the truth
And what?
and shame the devil.
I
I
love
love
being
being black.
I love being black. All right. All right, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. Good evening, good night, whatever you want to call it. We live, uncut, unedited. You already know this is the Crime Chaser live, uncut, unedited. This is what we tell
the truth
and what
and shame the devil.
and that's what we do here, people. So if you don't like the truth, you probably on the wrong page tonight. I tell you, you're on the wrong page tonight. This is live, uncut.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
I
love being black.
All right. Come on in, people. All right, if you're on my YouTube page, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm tired of begging y'all to subscribe to my YouTube page, but come on, subscribe to my YouTube page, and that'll be a very appreciative. Yeah. All right, we got to get to rolling. We got one call already.
0900
All right.
has joined.
Okay. All right. We're talking about the village. All right. Denise Jones, what's going on? Sharon Williams, I
love being black.
Uh-huh. Latoya Cobbs, all the way from Mississippi, in the house. Cassandra Clark, hello everyone. Hey Cassandra, how you doing? Samuel Allen, what's up, brother Allen? Good evening to you. All right. Latoya Cobbs again. Okay. Latanda Cobbs. All right. She texts me. Greg Phillips. All right. Greg said ain't no village no more. Tiffany. What's up, Tiffany? I see you. Big Drew 079. What's up, Martin? When the weather changed, man, we already know what it is, man. Sandra Collins. What's up? What's up? I tell you, we know what it is. It's live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil, people. Come on in. Come on in. It's good to be living in the land of the living. I'm so glad that I'm living in the land of the living. I tell you, somebody was here yesterday. They're not here today. And I tell you, people, some of us don't appreciate life until it's snipped away. Then we're like, oh my God. I tell you, come on in, people. Make sure you guys tag somebody. Don't just come on the show and enjoy all this good talking and don't share it with nobody. Tag somebody in there or share it. Share. Yeah, share. All right. Jermaine Maxwell, Martin, what up, brother? I
Tell
love
the truth
being back.
and shame the I love being black.
Timothy Trash, what's up, bro? Much love. That's my childhood friend, y'all. Ella Clark, what's going on, Ella? Linda Grant, Delancey, all the way from Miami. Oh, plenty of love. Mississippi, Miami in the house. My goodness, boy. Come on, people. Y'all showing love. I tell you, this ain't just a Chicago thing. This is a national thing. This is the Crime Chaser. I'm live and I'm uncut and unedited. Come on in, people. Come on in. I challenge every one of you tonight. And that's what it's going to be tonight. I'm going to challenge every last person that's on this live tonight. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you tonight. I'm telling you. All right. Greg Phillips said, I'm moving to where white people live. Go ahead. They ain't going to accept you. Louis Ramsey. What's going on, Louis? All right. Somebody said, at least they civilized. You don't live around them. You'll find out. They got some trailer trash, too. Move right around with them. You'll find out. Venitris, what's going on? Ricky Moore, what's going on, Ricky? Big Country checking in. Put the guns down in 2024. Safe children. Lawrence High, what's up, Lawrence? What's up, bro? Peace to you, brother. Been knowing Lawrence Hines for a long time, y'all. Childhood friend there, and he's almost like he is family, actually. Yeah. Gregory Phillips, what's up? What's up? Robin Freeman, what's up, Miss Robin? All right, Deborah Chapman, what's going on? All right, Isha, what's going on? Good evening, Martin. Let's continue to pray for our city. It's on fire, man. You're right. So, Queen, you are so right. Tell your husband I said, what's up? I hope he's watching with you. All right. All right. David McDonald. What's up, brother David? I'm glad you're here tonight, man. That's a brother that you guys ought to follow. Follow that brother. That brother is cutting edge mobility. He cuts hair for free in the Inglewood area. The brothers all the way from Florida came here on a move of God. Raven Harris, come on in. Denise Jones. All right. All right. All right. Somebody said, at least they won't kill me. You must don't watch the news, Gregory. All right, Monique Florence. Hello, Mr. Martin. All the way from Detroit. How you doing, Mr. Detroit? All right. Raven, they'll find out real quick. Okay. Tiffany Wilson again. All right. All right. Brenda Clark Dobbs. I'm just going to stay in the house because I'm scared. Okay. Divine Order. What's up? What's up? All right. Latanya Gablin. All right. Hello to you. All right. Raven. God bless. D. What's up, buddy? What's up, man? We're going to fly them drones this week. Ella Clark. All right. You're welcome, Brother David. You're doing a great job, man. And sometimes the encourager needs encouraging sometimes, you know. Wisconsin in the house. Deborah Singleton. All right. Wisconsin in the house. So we got Mississippi, Florida, and Wisconsin in the house. All right. Rose Dorsey. All right. From Iowa. Iowa in the house. Okay. All right. Cheryl Blakely. Hey, Martin, everyone. All right. Kia Simone. All right. Eva Ship. All right. The communities and people need to stick together, and it's going to continue happening. Get with your alderman, stand on the necks about your neighborhood and where you pay rent and taxes. Okay. All right. All righty. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. I think we got enough people here to get started. Those who ain't here, they just have to tune on in. And hey, this is what we're gonna
Tell the truth
and what
and shame the devil.
All right, people. I'm glad you guys are here. All right. Make sure my sound is right. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get started. All right. That's right. Parents need to check your kids' phone like you check these Negroes' phones. All right. Bring Chicago home. Okay. All right. All right, people, let's get started. We're going to get started. We got a few people on here tonight, but it's enough to get started. I want to welcome Twitter X, you on here so far. So Twitter X been coming on lately. So make sure you share it on Twitter X, share it on your page, and they need to hear this. All right. All right. YouTube, make sure you share it. Hit like, hit the like button, people. Matter of fact, Elsie Young, what's going on? Let me put up the call-in number so you guys can get ready to call in. We got 900 here tonight. We haven't seen her in a couple of days. We've been talking about too much black stuff. You know, she get back when we talk about that black stuff. You know.
Don't play it, Martin.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yes, you do.
I can't call in every day now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You can. You can. All right. We got you over Sarge now.
Huh? What you say? What?
We got you over Sarge now. We rather have you than Sarge.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, I'd rather have you than Sarge. I'm telling you. That's me personally. I'm saying it publicly. All right. All right.
He gonna call in now, Martin.
You can call in. I ain't gonna stop him. You're gonna follow the rules. That's it. You know, that's it. All right. Tonight we're going to talk about the village. That's what we're going to talk about, the village. I came on. Cut this TV off, this basketball game off, so I won't be interrupted. All right. That's the village. All right, 900. Do you know anything about a village? Not yet. Or you need me to talk? Well, you need me to talk first. And
well, no, I mean I know about the village.
Well, let me hear.
When I was growing, when I was growing up.
First of all, how old are you?
I'm 29.
You 29. You'll be 30 this year?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now I just want to know, let the people know what age you are. Go. When you was growing up, man, what? Let's hear about the village.
All right. Well, when I was growing up in the early 2000s, and I want to say this first, I did listen to your show. I think it was either last night or the day before, and it was some lady who called in, and y'all was talking about the village, and she was saying how she ain't gonna care about nobody's kid but her own, and y'all got on her about the village, and you was saying that you're a prime example of why we can't be part of the village, why we can't build a village, but you want the benefits of the village, but you don't want to care about nobody else's kids. So anyway, when I was growing up in the early 2000s, I can definitely say there was a village. You know, if you did something outside and one of the adults saw you, you could bet they was going to tell your parents, or they was going to say something to you. Now, they wouldn't go as too far as to whoop you or hit you or nothing, but they would definitely tell on you. They would call, or they would go over there, or next time they saw your mom or out walking somewhere, they would tell her that you did this or you said this. And you know, from what I could see, most times, if that happened with any parents, unless they was just real ghetto in the neighborhood and didn't fit in no way, most parents just received the information and dealt with their kids accordingly. They wasn't saying all this stuff like, well, these my kids, and you don't tell me what to do with my kids, and you just take care of yours, and I'm gonna take, they weren't saying all that foolish stuff. And I remember we had block parties, and people would get together, and we would all have a good time. You could depend on your neighbors. Several times, if I missed the school bus, you could go and you can go borrow money, a couple dollars for bus fare from your neighbors. We went to a daycare temporarily down the street, just a few houses down on my block, from a lady who had an in-home daycare. It was just a sense of community. It just, it was just different. There was a different spirit in the atmosphere, is the best way I can describe it. It's a different spirit. It just had this vibe where, of course you had some people, you had some prejudiced people on the block, and you definitely had some people who didn't necessarily maybe like you, or you had some people who you didn't talk to at all. It wasn't like the whole block was cool across the street and the other side of the street, but for the most part, growing up consistently, it was the same people who lived on the block, and it was just a form of kind of community. But nowadays, it's not like that,
Okay.
Not like that.
Well, you don't live in the hood, do you? They don't have no village in your community? I'm just asking. Do you think they have a village in your community where you live at?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really involved in the community, like that, because and it kind of makes me sad. But when as I get older, and I work in mostly pretty much all white communities, and I see how they are. It's just I've come to the realization that a lot of us, Black people, Hispanic, whatever you mix, minorities basically, we're not socialized the same way to have that kind of sense of community. So although I could say when I was growing up, we had some kind of community, I have some of those kind of skills. But when it comes to like other communities, like the white community, where they really organize together, and they just, if you know what I'm trying to say, they get involved in the community, is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
See, when we was growing up.
All right, quiet. All right, enough. Let me get into this so I can help people out. So, listen, community is this. Listen, sister, listen. Community is simply as this: if you see something, you will say something. Period. Okay, it's a village. And as I explained the other night, I believe that was last night. I think it was last night. If I see a van pull up and snatch a young lady in there, a young female in there, I will call and say something. I will do something. Call the police, get the license plate number, and tell. I will do that. Maybe even intervene. So that's what you call a village. Okay, now, is that my child, biological child? No. No, it's not my child. Do I know her parents? No. But I'm that village. And we can bring that village back. It may not all be on one block. But if I can tell you, if you're on vacation and you say, Mr. Johnson, we're going for the weekend, keep an eye on my home. And I know if I see any movement in that house, I know to call the police right away because my neighbors have informed me that they're out of town and should no one be at their house. I don't have to go knock on the door and ask the people what you're doing over there. Just get on the phone and call the police. So that's what you call a village. A village, you're looking out for your community. You're looking out for your group of people. That's what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. We have to stop being selfish. Some of you don't care about young people dying in the street. Why? Because it's not your son. It's not your daughter. You can care less. You see it on the news, you're going to stroll right past it. You see it on social media, you're going to stroll right past it. That's what you're going to do. But when something happens to your son and your daughter come up missing or snatched or run away, you want to run to the police. You want to run to the neighbors, ask if they see anything, or just what you want to do. The same neighbors that you never spoke to. The same neighbors you look down on. Now you need them for some information. I always say, let me know if we're friends or not. So if I see you get mugged, I know to stop or keep going or call the police. Let me know. Let me know. So what I'm saying, a village are those who care for their community, for their own kind. If you see something, you will say something, period. That's a village. If I see my neighbors, her teenage daughters, having male company in that house, grown men or whoever coming in there, I'm going to tell her mother, her father. And I don't care if she don't never speak to me. You're not my friend. Your mother is my friend. And that's just how I said, that's what you call village. It's too many selfish people out here only looking out for their immediate friends and family. And that's it. And that's not right. That is not right, period. It's not right. We need each other. We need each other. People come to Martin Johnson. Martin, well, since you have a platform, could I share a flyer, a GoFundMe account? Could I put my missing daughter or missing son or my missing mother or missing father, which you shared on your page? Now, these are some of the people that come in my inbox, ask me for a favor. They never watch none of my videos. They don't like anything. They don't comment, but now they need me. They need the village now. The village of social media. They need it now. See, we have to be careful how we treat people. We just might need them. You never know. Period. It's so true. Somebody said, what? No,
Martin.
hold on, I'm still talking. I'll let you talk. Yeah. Listen, somebody said, there is no village is dead, but we can bring the village back. And the village don't have to live on your block. I'm going to tell you, for those of you that have young, small children, and if I was working in a daycare and I see your children being mistreated, I should tell you. I should tell you. That's village. Real talk. And I don't care about what teenagers think about me. They don't even have to speak to me. My relationship is with your mother and your father, not you. And you hanging in the backyard, and you got 30, 40 teenagers in the backyard, y'all smoking weed and drinking and doing all that, you're going to get a knock on your door, and I'm going to say, what's going on over here? Real talk. Real talk. Go ahead, 900.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. I didn't know you were talking about that sense of community.
That's why I had to break it down to you. You know, people don't.
Yeah, I can say.
Hold on. We talk about things and we really don't know what they mean. A lot of us do that. Not just you, 900, even myself. We use the word love so loosely, and we really don't love. Go ahead, 900.
Well, yeah, I can say I have that sense of community here. I definitely can. If I need a package, like if a package is delivered and I'm at work and I saw it was delivered, you know, I can text my neighbor and I can be like, hey, can you grab this package for me so that it's not sitting out for several hours until I get home? And she'll be like, yeah, and she's done that for me several times. And if she ever asked me to do the same thing, I would do it gladly. It's been a couple of times where I've helped out neighbors before, where one time one of my neighbors, he was stuck on the side of the expressway down the street from my house, and he called me and asked if I could come pick him up because his car broke down, and I, you know, came and picked him up. You know, didn't charge him nothing, of course, you know, good neighbors, you know, and we just look out for one another. One time something happened to my car, and he told me, you know, what he saw and stuff like that. So yeah, I can say I have that where I live. Yeah, that part of community.
Yes, it's all about.
And I think it's good.
Go ahead.
I think it's good to have that sense of community, even if it's just on that level. I'm not saying, you know, you got to necessarily be buddy with them. You got to know their whole life.
No, we're not saying that.
But,
You're right.
Yeah. But it's just you gotta, you know, you can't be in this world by yourself. You know, you gotta have somebody that you can call on
and shame them
in times of need, whether you just need to use somebody's phone. And this is why I'm really against this culture nowadays where everybody is all about me. I'm not focused on nobody but me this year. And if it ain't about money, I ain't trying to hear it. You know, all this selfish attitude. And a lot of times these same people who you see, they be depressed and they be talking about nobody love them and they don't got nobody to rely on, and they want somebody to hear their sob story. A lot of times they're the same people who somebody was trying to somebody needed something from them and they didn't help nobody. So, you know, if you don't reciprocate you know, that type of love and community spirit, you know, don't expect somebody to drop what they doing to help you. You know, you gotta reciprocate. You gotta reciprocate this stuff. You know, you gotta be a friend, and you gotta be friendly in order to have friends. You know, that's what even the Bible say that. You know, a man with friends has proven himself friendly. You know, you can't be in a corner by yourself, and then when you fall on hard times, you know, you don't speak to nobody, you don't say hello to nobody, you don't offer no kind of help or assistance when you see it, even though you got the means and you got the time, you may even have the money, but you just doing you. To hell with the world, to hell with everybody else. If it ain't about you and mine, is what they say. People nowadays say, I'm just worried about me and mine. You know, then when you need some help, ain't nobody around to help you. And now you want to cry that, oh.
Hold it. You're going off. Okay. All right. Now let's get to this to people. Now, suppose some of us live in gated communities where school bus come and pick up young people and stuff like that. And hypothetical speaking, you see a strange car come through the community and snatch up your neighbor. Now, somebody like me that's nosy, I'm going to pay attention. And I'm going to see something. Just me, period. I'm nosy. I just tell you this, Ham. I watch my environment. And you have to watch for things like that. If your neighbor get locked out of the house, or if your neighbor get lock her keys or his keys in the car, you want to be able to help your neighbor use your cell phone. So it as 900 said, if you want friends, you must show yourself friendly. You have to do that. And so there's a village. Now, young people, we love you, but we're not going on with your foolishness. Now, those of you that's homeowners, you watch your neighbor grow up from a little boy, now he's 14. You can ask him to cut your grass and pay him. Put a little money in his pocket. Include him. You can, hey, so-and-so, help me carry my groceries to the front door. You don't have to invite him into the house or on a porch. You can do that. That's inclusion. You including. You helping someone. And that's what it's all about. Community is about helping. The village is about helping. And we need to help one another. We all need some help one way or another. You believe it? As the sister said, hey, I need you to grab my package for me. Secure my package. I won't be home until I'm working overtime. Hey, I need you to keep an eye on my place. My children just came home and I'm not there yet. I'm on my way home. Just keep an eye, make sure everything is look okay. You just look out the window, make sure no cars parked in front of my house or no company going in and out of there. And all that is the village. And you're right, Cheryl Blakely, to be aware is to be alive. That is 100% correct. Yeah, listen. And I'm going to tell you, some of you game bangers. You don't speak to them on purpose. And now, I'm going to tell you what could happen. They could be in the street one time, your same neighbor that's a game banger that you watch grow up. One of his friends can be contemplating carjacking you, and he with him. By you not speaking, he don't even try to tell him, no, that's my neighbor. Go and get that car. I can't stand her no way. I can't stand him no way. See, it can happen. It can happen. I'm telling you, it's a small world. I'm telling you. You've got people, listen, you've got people out here that's in a life of crime. But by you being their neighbor, they'll call that robbery off that they was going to do. Don't do that. That's my neighbor. Don't do that. Don't shoot that car. That's my neighbor's car. So it pays to be nice and speak. It don't hurt you to speak to your neighbor. It don't hurt. Especially a young teenager. Because that same teenager that you looking down at and mean mugging might be able to save your life one day. Save you some trouble. You got that kid parked outside and he hang out with the kid boys. You tell the kid boys, hey, don't come on my block doing nothing. Don't touch that car. That's my neighbor. I don't like her, but that's my mother friend. They cool. They drink coffee together. They call each other. Don't mess with her car. It can happen. I need some call in people. Call in people.
Call in number.
Listen to the number.
872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you something too, people. It's good to be nice, cool. And you don't have, when you speak to people, you don't have to invite them inside your house and ask them what they're cooking at night. You can just say, hey, how you doing? And go in the house. I found out a long time ago, I couldn't stand no nosy neighbors. But man, a nosy neighbor can tell you everything. I remember my car got towed away. My neighbor called me. I was on the north side inside a big truck. I think I was in my buddy truck. He said, you getting your car towed? I said, no. Well, it's a tow truck over towing your car. I couldn't get home fast enough. But that's the neighbor. It was the neighbor. Did I respect and I grow to love? Because I used to like nosy neighbors, but I love them. Be nosy. Because when I need to ask a question, hey, did you see somebody knocking on my door? You see somebody standing around my window or something? The neighbors will tell you. That's a part of the village. Part of the village. The teachers are part of the village. When they tell you as a parent, as a teacher, as a mother, or as a father, say, hey, your son is failing. He's very disrespectful. He's always late coming to class. He's a classroom clown. And Mom, you might not like it. Dad, you might not like it. But he's telling you, most teachers spend more time with our children than we do, especially when they're up and moving around. Period. I need some callers. People.
Martin.
I'm tired of you talking now. Go ahead.
Why?
You just be talking blah. Go ahead.
I ain't no different than anybody else who be calling and talking all the time.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying,
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Well, you're right. When it comes to the village, I've actually had a neighbor like that before. They was always looking out the window. I always knew they was looking out the window because when I lived in an apartment, whenever I would come back inside, I could hear them upstairs stepping away from the window because, they was looking outside, I guess, to see me coming in or to see who was coming in, or they were just making sure I was okay. It was nighttime. Could have been that too, but I could always tell, and they was walking and they was by the window when I would come in. And they were just always looking out the window anyway, But yeah, everybody just gotta work on being a good neighbor. Everybody can open their mouth and speak. I think it's nothing worse. I think it's nothing more disrespectful than walking past somebody that you see on a daily basis and just don't even, look at them or speak to them, but you'd be surprised, Martin, how many times, you could go in people's houses nowadays and they won't even say nothing. They won't even speak to you. You go in their house, they won't even speak to you. It's just.
Well, let me say this. When you go in somebody's house, they shouldn't have to speak to you. You should speak to them. You come in their house.
Well, yes, you should. But if somebody is inviting you to their house, you're in their house. They should be welcoming you. You're a guest in their house. They should be welcoming you.
How would you like for somebody to come to your house and don't speak to you?
Well, of course you should speak to them, but you're in their house. You should speak to them first. If somebody came to my house.
If somebody come to my house, they should speak to me first. Hello, how you doing? That's the first thing they should be saying. Especially if you're
I know what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is if you come in their house and whoever sees who first. I'm not talking about, if y'all see each other first, obviously you're going to say hey at the same time. But I'm just saying, if they come to you first, let's say you walk in the front door and you don't see them, and they come from around the corner from the kitchen or whatever, and they see you first, before you see them, they should absolutely speak to you first. Because maybe that's a generational thing, Martin.
Right.
But
there's no generation. It's courtesy. It's courtesy. You come in a man's house or woman's house, you speak to them first. You're in their house. You speak. That's the right thing to do. You should make that your business. Yeah. How you doing, sir?
No, but
how you doing, ma'am?
Well,
how's your day going?
Well, a lot of people today, they don't have a welcoming spirit about them. They're not very.
We're not talking about people. We're talking about you as an individual. If you go in someone's house and you speak to them, you should do that. That's just courtesy, period.
Well, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. Yes, you should.
You shouldn't have to wait till they speak to you. You coming in my house. You need to speak to me. You listen, you in my domain. And that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it now. Hey.
Yeah, but they should still make you feel welcome too.
Of course.
You know, if
But we talking about
somebody
speaking.
came in my house, right? If somebody came in my house, I'm not gonna make them feel like they got to do all the work as far as communication. You know,
No, you're missing the whole point. You're missing the whole point. If somebody
no, I
come to
understand
your
what you're
house,
saying. I understand what you're
they
saying.
should speak. When they ring your doorbell, the first thing you come to open the door, how you doing, Miss So-and-so?
Yes, of course, of
That's
course.
what I'm
I
talking
agree with
about.
that.
Where you going? I don't know where you going. Period. When you go to some people's house, you speak to them. You break the ice. Don't wait for them to speak to you. You're coming to their house. You're in their domain. That's how that should be. That's all I'm saying. That's respect.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of people today.
Well, I don't know.
Regardless,
I don't know no people that do that.
Yeah.
All the people I hang around.
Well, I do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who they are, because I know the people.
Regardless of that, though,
the circle that I'm around.
Regardless of that,
we speak. We speak to each other. We speak when we go to each other's house and stuff like that. You know,
well, like I said, this may be a generational thing, because I'm just telling you.
It ain't no generational thing. That's courtesy. You ain't telling me nothing.
No, I'm not talking about that anymore. I'm not talking about that anymore.
You're talking about nothing.
No,
go ahead.
No, what I was going towards is I'm off that now. Who should speak first? I'm not talking about that.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. When you go in somebody's house, you speak. That's courtesy.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I'm not saying you don't.
You don't listen. You don't wait till they speak to you first. You hurry up and speak. I'm ringing somebody.
Martin, Martin, if I ring somebody doorbell and they open the door, don't you think I'm gonna speak first?
I don't know.
If they don't speak first,
the way you talking, you may not.
No, you ain't understanding what I'm saying. You ain't understanding.
Yeah.
Like I said, it must be a generational thing. Maybe we don't understand each other on this particular topic. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's not gonna make or break me. I'm just saying, you know. But overall, even past the speaking thing, past that, a lot of people today do not have a welcoming spirit. They don't know how to.
First of all, we're not talking about people and their welcoming spirit, regardless if they.
Well, that's part of the community.
Hold on.
That's part of the community.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm controlling this conversation, not you. Listen. What I'm saying is, when you go to somebody's house, you speak. That's first. Whether or not if they have a welcoming spirit or not. That's just common courtesy. That's like apologizing to someone and they don't accept your apology. There's nothing you could do. You apologize, and that's all you could do. Now, it's up to the individual to accept your apology. But you handed them the ball. I'm sorry for whatever I did or said. So it's up to the person to accept your apology. So you can't worry about that. When I go to somebody's house, I speak. Now, if they don't speak back, I know what time it is. I know what I'm dealing with. But I broke the ice because I'm coming to your house, so I'm speaking to you. So what I'm saying, people, this is what I'm saying, is common courtesy, period. You can't come to nobody's house mean mugging them, looking all crazy.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. You said that.
Hold on. I didn't say you said that. Did I say 900 said that? Listen, you just like
no, but you're taking it out of context, Martin.
No. You're taking it out of context. You don't understand.
No,
your comprehension
I'm
level
not.
when it comes to that. You're not understanding. You jump from one thing to the next thing. I'm still on what that. You're trying to change the conversation. I'm the host.
Because
no,
at this point, Martin, we don't understand each other on this.
It ain't this.
We don't understand each other.
I said, no, you don't understand. I understand where you coming from. Yeah. Listen, but anyway, people, I need some new calls. I'm tired of talking now.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, people.
Why you tired of me talking? Dr. Sanders calling in and take over your whole show. You gonna be tired with her?
She talk about something. You ain't
Martin,
talking about nothing.
I listen.
But you're
I
not
listened to
talking
your
about
last
anything.
2
Hold on.
shows.
You're not.
She be
hold
taking
on.
over.
Taking over. Listen, nobody taking over
She
my
be
show.
taking
I
over.
listen. I let nobody take over. What
No,
last
but
show?
she stayed.
Okay,
She stayed.
Okay, how did she take over?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I said, I listened
How
to
did she
both your
take over?
shows
Did she
from
take over
last
last
night
night?
and the other night.
Did she take over last night?
It was one of those shows where she took over, Martin.
No,
it
she
was
didn't
just
take over.
like, yes, she did. It was constant.
Well, listen,
At one
hold
point,
on.
she was
Well,
delegating.
you're not doctor. You're not doctor. So you're not qualified to take over this show. Maybe she is.
I
Maybe
don't
she
want to
is.
be her.
Okay,
Definitely not.
maybe
I don't
she
want to be
is.
her.
Maybe she's qualified.
But I'm just
to take
saying,
over.
though.
Yeah, it's always, every time you come on here, it's always something. You're arguing, calling out names.
No,
it's always something. It's always about
No,
you.
don't.
Hold it. It's
No, it's
always
not.
about
It's
you.
always
Right
about
now,
her.
right
It's
now,
always about
I'm
her.
gonna need you to be quiet on this show. And I hate to use that word, but I'm gonna need you to be quiet right now. Let me take my next caller. Thank you. All right, next caller. 5447. 54.
Joined.
Come on, caller. 5447. Come on, caller.
Oh, yes. Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's been a while since I caught up. Yes, I was trying to keep track of the discussion. I'm assuming you meant it takes a village to raise a family.
Yes.
Do I have that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I heard the conversation you were having with the last young lady. I was trying to catch what you guys were saying about manners, which is a huge topic.
Tell the
And
truth.
I believe
and shame the devil.
Go ahead, sister.
I believe I know what the young lady was talking about. And you guys said it's a generational thing, but I think it's maybe a household thing, because my grandparents and my side of the family were always into being good hosts. My grandma was very particular about people coming in her house and just sitting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, she would be a very good host. And when anybody would come to her house, she would always make herself known, and you want something to drink, you sit here. She didn't like people just roaming around her house, so, I mean, you guys are talking about who speaks first, and I really don't really know how that would work, but, I think I get what you're saying about the generational, because I teach my children to be good hosts to their friends. Their friends come over.
Thank you.
You offer them something to drink. You say, here's the bathroom. They just don't roam around anywhere. And, because that's the first thing. You don't come to somebody's house and just walk around.
Thank
but
you. You don't come,
I think I was trying.
Hold on. You don't come to nobody's house and don't speak. How about if I knock on the door?
Well, no, I didn't say. Well, that's the thing. I don't.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. I mean, I don't know about the whole who does it first.
Right. Well,
I'm just saying, when someone comes to my house, my
hold on, sister. If I come to your house, it's just common courtesy. I speak to you first. I'm at your house.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you would do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, ain't no. Listen.
Well, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, for me,
Right.
I'm being a good host.
Right.
So when I
Well,
see you
first
and you
of all-
come in,
First of all,
I welcome. Well, this is just when we were raised,
Right.
But everybody, it's a household thing, and everybody's household don't do things the same way. Some people say be a good host. Some people say you walk in their house, you speak. So I think it's just a very household, a thing. Just
we're
from
not
my
talking about no
opinion.
host. We're talking about when you come to somebody's house, you speak. That's what we're talking about.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I heard you say that. Well, I mean, when someone.
That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about nothing else. Being no good
Oh,
host.
yes. If you come to my house, and you knock on the door, I immediately acknowledge you. And I want you to feel welcome. And I want you to feel welcome in my house. And I want you to feel comfortable. And I want you to respond to me. Now, if I acknowledge you and you act like you don't hear what I'm saying, you ain't coming in. So I acknowledge you, and I'm saying, hi, how you doing? I want you to feel comfortable. You come to my home, I want you to feel comfortable. You are a guest. But if you act like you can't hear me and you can't respond and you got a little attitude, you can just go right back on out that door. And that's where I stand. I want you to feel welcome. And if you come by my house, I'm on that door, I'm saying, how are you, Mr. Martin? Come on in. You can take your shoes off, and I'll let you know the rules of my house. Right when we meet. That's my opener. These are the rules of my house. when you come in the door. You don't have to speak if you don't want to, but I'm gonna let you know right up front. My name is Miss Nisha. This is the rules of my house, and I'll make you feel welcome.
So you telling me I knock on your door and just look at you and don't say nothing, and I just come on in?
I'm speaking first because I'm acknowledging. I want you to acknowledge me. I want you to acknowledge me. But I'm speaking first because I say, hi, how are you? This is my house. This is me. I'm speaking
What if I don't say anything?
Well, then you can turn right back around. Well, then you being rude. You can turn right back around.
My point.
But I'm acknowledging you. But if you're going to be rude and not acknowledge me, but I'm saying, I don't know if you want to say something first, you can. But when I open that door, I'm letting you know who I am.
My point.
If this is my children's friends, then I open up that door and say, hey, I'm their mama. And woo, this is that. You don't have to say nothing. I'm letting you know who I am and my rules of the house, and I'm doing it politely. You can come in. But I'm saying, if you want to acknowledge yourself and say, hi, my name is this, you can do that. But when I open that door, you're going to know who I am. You're going to know what's going on up in here. But I'm going to do it in a nice, polite way.
So you're telling me you open up your door, and I'm standing at that door, and I'm just looking, and I don't say nothing.
I'm not. You ain't gonna be looking. I'm gonna announce myself. Ain't no time gonna go by. When I open that door, you gonna know who you talking to.
Exactly.
Ain't no time gonna go by. When you open that door, you gonna know who you face to face with, but in a nice, polite way.
You just said in your words that I don't have to.
No, you don't.
I don't have to say.
Because there'll be no time. There'll be no time. You can respond to me, but when I open my door, I'm announcing who I am. If I know you're coming. We're not talking about people who just show up. We're talking about people who come. And if someone's a stranger to you, you want them to acknowledge who they are.
Okay, hold it, ma'am. Let me go to.
But if you're not a stranger to me, then I'm like, hi, how you doing?
Hold it. 3268. Come on, caller.
Hey, what's going on, Martin?
Hey, Mr. Roosevelt, how are you?
Okay, since we're kind of talking about manners somewhat tonight,
no,
at least that's what it seems like it has kind of devolved into.
Right.
Maybe somebody could answer me this, and let me explain this whole situation. Now, I know only thing that for all the years that you've known me, you probably never ever seen me like wear a regular hat or a baseball cap or nothing. But you never seen me probably just wear what they call a spiritual or African crown either. But just because you haven't seen me wear one, but I that's what I wear. Okay. And normally, if you're wearing something, even by law, if you're wearing like a fez or a kufi or a turban or some kind of spiritual head cut or for religious reasons, you are not even supposed to take it off inside. But sometimes when you go to people's houses, and the thing is, sometimes if you're wearing like an African or spiritual crown, it's not even considered to be a hat. The first thing a whole lot of people do is, when you come into my house, take that hat off in here. Now, you tell me because and this is not to challenge anybody.
No, but you answered your own question. That's not really considered
doctrinally or anything.
Right. Well, it's like
right. But what about a whole lot of people who would say that?
People don't know. They don't know. They don't understand. They're grossly misinformed. You can wear a
So how would you explain that to them?
You would have to explain it that they don't know. But guess what? That still is their apartment. That's their house. That's their rules. So if they see something on your head, you can't come into it. You got to respect it. You have an option. Well, I'm sorry. I would not be taking off my head, so I would not be coming into your apartment. And this is the reason why. And you explain that. So I understand. Most people don't know that. You can wear kufi in the courthouse. You can wear fez in the courthouse.
One time I was in court, they made me take off my crown.
Well, you should have took it off. I would have never took it off. So I don't have to take. But this is my religious beef, and you can't disrespect that. If a woman come there with her face covered up, they can't tell her to take a mask off, her face off. You can't do it. That's her religion. This is a freedom of religion here in this country. That's because you don't know the rules. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to tell them.
But
I was just about to say that too.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, some people are not comfortable taking their shoes off, and you don't disrespect your guests like that. Right. Some people don't like taking off their shoes, and you don't ask them to disrobe. If you say my rules is nobody wears shoes in my house, but not everybody want to do that. You should treat your guests with kindness.
But that's okay. Listen, there are some exceptions to the rule. You know, if you got the maintenance man coming in there, you know, or it's I'm gonna just go ahead and clean up as soon as he leave right out there. But some people do not allow street shoes on their floor inside the house. That's their rules.
I'm one of
But
them.
your comfort of your guests should always come first.
Right. But people got rules. Some people don't allow people to smoke. Some people don't consider vaping smoking. They don't consider that smoking.
Well, smoking's different. Yeah, smoking is kind of like a toxin.
I would never allow that in my house.
But just thinking, dirty shoes is a toxin to a clean house. You got hardwood floors, a white carpet, a clean carpet. You don't want nobody from the outside walking, bringing all that outside stuff into your house. I mean,
that's true.
Some people are great housekeepers. Me, you can keep them on and take them off. It doesn't matter with me because I'm gonna clean up behind you anyway. So
yeah, I don't like shoes in my house, but I never let anyone be uncomfortable.
Right.
Well, do you think it also matters like how a person says something, even if it is their home? Do you think it also matters like how they say something? Because Martin, you said that if you're wearing something like maybe for a religious reason or whatever like that, you said just explain that. But man, you already kind of got off on the wrong foot with me when you kind of yelled at me, boy, take that hat off in here.
But Roosevelt, everywhere
you got off on the wrong foot with me.
Roosevelt, regardless, that's that person's house. And if you don't abide by the rules, you just leave. That's all. That's just like if you ride in a person's car.
Too.
If they smoking in their car and you don't like smoke, you got an option, pull over, let me get out. You smoking out. I can't tell you not smoking your car because you have asthma.
And if you're all good people,
right,
it should be understandable.
It should be understandable. So you have to.
And I
like me, I don't like.
That's what matters too.
No.
Can I say something?
No. You didn't talk enough. Yeah.
Martin,
go ahead.
What's your beef with
Martin?
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
And I do have to say that no, the doctor has not taken over your show. Matter of fact, that's just an extra thing I just have to say. I feel that she brings like a great balance of like everything. And even because one day I talk, because I have a YouTube show myself. I said one day when I have a topic and stuff, I might want her as a guest on my show. And plus, if you got a chance to know her, I mean, golly, she's very down to earth. I mean, you never even know she had all of that kind of stuff going for her unless she told you.
She do be taking over. She be taking over.
She don't take over. She do not take over.
But very nice lady. That's all I'm gonna say.
That very nice lady.
I didn't say she wasn't nice. I didn't say she wasn't nice.
Yeah. So let's get back
I
to
didn't say that.
Let's get back to the program. Well, this is my show. Why you worry about who taking over? I'm not gonna allow you to take over.
Because you treat me different, Martin.
Because
you treat me different.
First of all, you don't First of all, listen. Let me just say something. A lot of people.
Now look.
We've
been doing good.
Hold on. We still good. We still good. But I'm just telling you, you don't come with. Listen, most of the time your stuff is all propaganda, if I may say that. I notice on the internet. I mean, it's just repetitious.
How is it propaganda? You be agreeing with a lot of stuff I be saying.
Right. Yes, you do. But some things you just talk and you don't know. You don't understand. And I be trying to get you to
that's fine.
Right. And that's
everybody else be doing the same thing.
Right. Listen, like
well, getting back to the village, I actually had a question.
Go ahead with the village, ma'am.
I actually had a question.
I'm always
no.
I respect you as a host.
Sister. Come on, just getting back to the village. Go ahead. We spend enough time.
I'm sorry. The village question. A few days ago, there was not a few days ago, maybe about over the weekend, there was a shooting in Lansing. Were you aware of that at all?
No,
that a shooting in Lansing took place.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you're getting to the whole village takes effect. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You got the green there.
All right. Yeah. Well, there was a shooting in Lansing. I don't know why it hasn't made the news. I've only seen one picture about it, and I don't want to give too much info away because I was in the midst of it. But it happened over the week. I'm sorry, Friday.
I did hear about.
Yeah, I heard something about that too.
I heard about a brawl out there in the south suburbs or something. That's the only thing I heard. But
no, this was a. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Either way, I got off work a little early because I tell you before I still teach. But it was about Friday, maybe between 3 and 4 o'clock. Is someone's car? I thought someone's car got shot up, but I still don't even know the whole story, and I can't give too much away because I still am in contact with the police, getting witness information from me. But either way, I was going to drive away after, the shooting. And, I've seen a lot of shootings and seen more than my share of bodies in my lifetime. Before I get into that, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to keep going. But I didn't want it to be one of the situations where you don't know who's going to call 911 and you don't know. But either way, I decided to pull over and, go to the assistance of the person in the vehicle. And the person in the vehicle ultimately didn't make it. But I saw a lot of things out. Me and this other man were the only two persons there on this major street. It was Torrance and Ridge. And when you speak of when it takes a village to raise a family, this young man, I don't know his life story, and I don't know how he was raised, but I do know that my first instinct was to burst. After all I've seen was to keep going. But second, I can't just leave him there. And two, someone obviously took this young man's life. And the tragic thing of more than his life being taken is that it just appeared as though whoever did it, they just obviously just took off and did it while we were all driving. I don't know how it took place, if they rented the car. I really don't know that. I was too involved with my day. And even though it was only a couple of cars ahead of me, all I heard was the shots. I didn't see what took place because I was that involved with my day, which I regret, at this point. But I try not to get on myself. But the point is when you talk about taking a village to raise a family, I didn't go into that situation thinking who this young man is, the life he may have led to before he got to this point. All I knew was I needed to be with him in these moments and try to keep him, hanging on. But someone, decided to take his life.
Let me see that. Let me just say this. That's like going to a car accident, a real serious car accident. You're trying to help somebody get a car, regardless whatever they was involved in or doing, whatever their lifestyle, they have anything to do with you. All you saw was a young man that was.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when you talk about village to raise a family, they're not raised with this type of empathy. They're raised with, they was into this, that, or that. That ain't my business. I'm going to keep going. And so a village to raise a family, which means it first has to start at home with the empathy. Before they can even go out and learn from other people in the village and in the neighborhood, they first have to want to learn and have that understanding and have that empathy, because you can have a whole village of people who care, but if you have a child who's not responsive to that because they're in their own home, they're not being taught empathy and, as we said, the manners and things such as that and understanding, then you can have all these, and you can have all these people who are in the know who may even try, but they're not responsive to that because they're not coming from that household. So I'm just saying I came from that household that had that empathy, so I will be responsive to a village trying to teach me. So, but it always starts at the home base. But yes, it does take a village, but only if that child and that household is responsive to that village. Like in the Chicago public schools, you can have all the good teachers you want, but if they're not responsive, it's going to be hard.
Regardless if they're responsive or not, the village is you. You can't depend on nobody else to be the village. You've seen a need. You saw a need to help a young man that have been hit by gunfire. And you was there in his last.
But that's just from where I was raised from. But there were other people who were.
We're not talking about the other people. We're talking about you. You gave us a scenario. So I'm showing you that you saw it in your mind, your heart, to stop and be there for him. Don't worry about the other people. Everybody's not going to.
Because it was but it was already in me. To do that, but some young kids, it's not in them, to do that.
Can you listen? Can you listen, please? I'm trying to show you something.
Sorry.
It's a teaching moment. The village is you, not everybody. Let the village in you come out, and that's what you did. You displayed it.
I see what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. Don't worry, everybody's not a part of the village. let the village and you come in. You know
Well,
the
I
role.
was going with the discussion. I thought you said it takes a village
It
to,
does.
to
It.
raise a child. I
I
thought
didn't.
that was the discussion.
No,
But
no. Hold it. Hold it. Hold
I
it.
was
Hold
expressing
it.
that it
No.
would have to be
Hold it,
inside you first.
ma'am. You having a hard time listening? I'm saying the title said the village.
No, I heard. I was just talking about the discussion.
Okay. The
But the village is in you. Yes,
Okay,
I was
it's in
talking
you.
about the
Okay.
discussion
Okay,
where
but
you
see,
said it takes a
what I'm
village to raise
saying-
a family.
Right.
I
yes,
didn't
you're
say
right.
that.
I didn't say that, even though it does. I said the village. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. The village. The village. It ain't all about just raising a family. It's helping one another. We got to get out of there. The village is more than just helping raising a family. It's helping one another, having sympathy.
Yeah,
for one another.
absolutely.
It's more than that. It's more than that. Look, now, just give you an example. Now, people, I gave it earlier today. People ask me to post missing people on my platform. Now, I can say, hey, that's not none of my relative. I don't know that person, but I don't do that. By me having this platform, I allow the village to come out of me on social media. I put the person thing up there on the on my page. So I don't worry about what another man, another woman that's not doing. I let the village come out of me. And another thing, I'm gonna tell you what I do. We had a discussion about a young lady, and she said, I only care about man and man only. I'm not like that. I told her last night, if I see your 11-year-old daughter getting snatched up, I'm going to say something. I'm going to do
Right,
something.
that's what I mean. Right.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. The village in me is going to come out because I'm concerned. Why? Because I'm thinking that 11-year-old girl may be my daughter. It could be my daughter. So I'm putting myself in the mind of a parent, of a concerned parent. And what I'm saying is, when we see things in the street, we walk right past them because it doesn't concern us, period. Now, a lot of us are established. We see homeless people shaking the cup, whatever, and we look down on them. We really look down on them. We do. What is so funny? What's so funny?
Oh, my God, laughing like this is funny.
Who's laughing?
That's not funny. This is not funny. Please. Now, if y'all can't respect the platform, that's not funny. Nothing about a person that's homeless or asking for money is funny. Nothing about. We're not on here to make fun of people. We don't do that on here now. You're on the wrong platform if you got to do that. Respect the host and respect the panel, please. Thank you. Thank you. So, we see homeless people. We walk by. I'm not saying every homeless person we see, we got to run over there and give money. But we don't even acknowledge them. We don't acknowledge homeless people. We look down on certain people. And just like I was saying earlier today, if you have a neighbor that's a teenager, and you know you're a well-known gangbanger, you see you're a troubled child, you never speak to him. And one of his friends decided they want to carjack you. But by you never speaking to him, he don't stop him. He don't persuade him. He don't say, hey, don't do that. He said, go and get him. I don't care. He don't speak to me no way. I don't like her no way. Go and get her. But just a common courtesy. How you doing, young man? How you doing today? That right there, it goes a long way. It's a long way. Listen, how many times did you think that I was on a crime scene that probably some people want to do something or say something negative to me, and they didn't do it because they respect the work that I'm doing? Because I'm courtesy. I'm courtesy. When I see people, I speak. People say, hey, I watch your videos. I said, thank you. Keep watching, sharing. I hope I'm saying something to help you. And I just be common courtesy. Then they may say, well, can I take a picture with you? I said, sure, why not? That's common courtesy. That goes a long way. I have been on a crime scene whereas I couldn't get by. People invite me into their home. Come on, Martin, you come in my house and get it from the window. These are the things because I'm showing myself friendly. He that want friends must make himself friendly. So these are the things that I'm talking about. We letting the village come out of us. We help people. That's what we have to do. Roosevelt, a friend of mine. I've been knowing Roosevelt for years. If I'm going in Roosevelt direction, come on, get in the car, Roosevelt. I'll take you to the red line. If I'm going your way, I'll take you on home. It's not about no money. Roosevelt tell you, it's not about no money. Roosevelt was just happy to drop me off at the bus line or the red line or whatever, train. But it's not about money. People, we have to have compassion toward one another. And like
No,
said,
I completely agree. I was about to say I'm sorry.
go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say some people's main reason always be, well, you never know what people are going to do. They're going to do this, you're going to do that. But you know what? Life, you can't jump in somebody's body and make them do anything. Life is a risk. Nobody's saying that if you help someone and show compassion, they're going to turn around and be grateful to you. Because that's the only reason why you're doing it. Then you might as well not do it. Not everybody, if you show a little compassion or say hello, is going to drop on their knees and be so grateful that you said something. I mean, if that's the way you live it, you might as well just hang it up. Because if that's why you're doing it, life is full of risk. You cannot stop being who you are, being kind, being compassionate, and just because not everybody is going to return that compassion. You may give someone who's homeless money on the street, and just because they didn't say, "Oh, thank you," and they're also grateful, they may just take it and leave. What they got to do with you being giving, and you being comforting, and you being something. So I do know what you mean about bringing the village out, and some people don't want to bring their village out because they don't get anything in return. But this is life. You can't control people. You're probably not going to get a reward. Just make peace with that. You're probably not going to get somebody to drop on their knees and be so overly grateful that you helped them. Yeah, I mean, that just might be the deal. But what they got to do with you being a kind person?
Yeah,
so you're not going to get this graciousness, and I can't live my life like that because they ain't going to do for me. So what if they don't do for you? You going to stop? That's just your solution? Everybody's not going to do for you. You're just going to stop? No, absolutely not.
Martin, you don't give, forget.
Ma'am, let's go to this laughing caller because they ain't said nothing. Come on, laughing caller. Let me hear from you. Come on, caller.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think it takes a village to raise kids because I'm not saying nothing to nobody's kid. If I see them doing something that they're not supposed to do, I'm either tell the parent or call the police.
Sir, you missed the whole concept. You missed the whole concept. Sir,
I knew you were going to say that. I knew Mike was going to say that.
You missed the whole concept, sir.
He was too busy laughing.
Yeah. You missed the whole concept, sir. You missed the whole concept. Listen.
I knew that was coming.
Listen, let me explain something to you, sir. Let me explain something to you. You don't have to, I didn't say go out there and say something to the young person. I just said if you living next door to a person that you know is a thug or something, it's common courtesy. Just speak to him, say, how you doing? So the reason why I said that, what if he got a thug friend that want to carjack you or your daughter or your neighbor? And he said, well, go ahead, man, do it. They don't speak no way. They're nasty. Nasty attitude. Now, by you speaking to him, he probably would say, you know what, that's my neighbor. He cool. And we don't really get along, but he do speak. Don't break in that car. Don't do that. That's what I'm talking about. So another thing I gave another example. I'll give you another example I gave. I don't care about my neighbor, teenage son or daughter liking me. If I see them doing something wrong, I'm going to tell their parent. So don't care. So that's the village in me. That's what I'm saying. Let the village come out of you, brother. Now, if I see your son with a loaded gun on the way to school, wouldn't it be right? And I'm talking to you all the time. Wouldn't it be right for me to say something to you about that? I'm asking you a question. And why you think that?
Yeah.
Why you think that?
Because I need to know what's going on.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the village in me. As a parent to parent, that's the village in me. That's all I'm saying, brother. We know how to mind our business, but sometimes we have to say things, brother. We have to help people, be compassionate and stuff like that. Because if your son, now just think about it. If I had not said nothing, your son go out there, shoot and kill somebody and get 100 years. Just me having a conversation could have told you, could have prevented that. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, let the village come out of you, brother. Let the village come out of you. Be a blessing to somebody. Help somebody. A young lady was on here last night, and I'm not gonna say her name, and she was saying, I'm just looking out for me and my own. That's it. I don't care about nobody else. You know, no, don't be like that. I said, if I see your 11-year-old daughter getting snatched in the car, I would say something. I would do something. Now, I could say that ain't none of my daughter. I'm minding my business. I'm going on my everyday life. So by me doing that, saying something, doing something, I'm allowing the village to come out of me. That's all I'm saying, brother. That's all I'm saying. We have to allow the village to come out of us. Now, we got to be careful being selfish. The dear sister said it was a gunshot victim. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. She was right there by his side. No matter what lifestyle he was in, whether he was wrong or right, she was there for him. She had compassion. And that's all. She let the village come out of her. She didn't know what lifestyle he was in. She didn't know it. But she stopped. Try to give a lending hand. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we in the place that we in right now, because nobody cares about each other. If it ain't my son or my nephew, somebody I know laying on the ground, so be it. Let's continue on. And we shouldn't be like that.
Much praises to that. Much praises. And anybody who's listening, you know, you may not get nothing in return, but guess what? It's not all about you. About what you can give can mean so much. Like you said about if you see somebody's child and something's going on, that parent could have had time to intervene if you only had said something. Because maybe you're not going to get this overwhelming welcome from this parent. Maybe the parent would be a little taken back by what you said and not so accepting. You know, who knows? But the point is that it's nothing to do with you taking, like you said, you know, doing what you need to do, what is right. And like I said, a lot of people hold that. A lot of Black folks walk around like, you know, they expect a reward, they expect something in return. But you know what? That may not happen. But last I checked, that excuse don't work for God either. Like, oh, you just mean and cruel to everybody because they were mean and cruel to you. So yeah, come up in heaven. I don't think that works that way. I don't think that's the way it goes. I think you're just supposed to give and be the best that you could be, regardless of how the world is behaving. Last I checked, like it's a household thing. Not everybody's taught with those beliefs and those manners.
Raven.
Right. Not everybody's taught with those beliefs and those manners.
Hold it. Raven Harris said being a part of the village might just save a life. And that's correct. And any parent on here that's listening to me right now that have a teenage son or a teenage daughter, two scenarios. I can see your son getting shot and I can recognize, I see him every day. I can get on the phone and call you or call an ambulance for him or keep going. I can see your daughter getting snatched. Don't try to get the license plate. Don't call 911. Don't give a description of the car, nothing. And just don't get involved. Or I could just keep going. And any parent on here will respect a brother or a sister that would try to intervene for their children, for their child. Yeah, nothing but respect. That's it. I don't care if the child is bad. Period. Or thug, whatever it is. We all gonna need help one way or another. Period. So
Martin, can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
yes,
my bad.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. I agree. Yes, we should definitely if you know, as the saying goes, if you see something, say something. But what about the other side where, you know, you tell somebody, because it is true, you tell somebody something about their child or something that you saw, and they get mad at you because little did you know, they knew what was going on.
Hold it. Regardless of what it is, you just warning them. Let them deal with it. That just I gave you an example earlier.
Right, exactly. That's their deal.
Listen, if you apologize to a person, it's up to them to accept it. You can't make them accept your apology. You do what you have to do. Well, you did your part. Look at it like that. Don't care.
Okay.
That's right.
Look at it like that.
Okay.
I've told many women, friends of mine, hey, let me know if we still friends, so I know if I see you getting mugged or stuck on the side of the road, I know to keep going and stop. Seriously. Seriously.
What?
Yeah.
Let me know if
Would
you're
you-
still friends.
Martin,
So I can know if I'm
would you really not? Would you really not stop though because y'all weren't friends? You really
I
would
sure
not stop.
will. I sure will.
Don't do
I
that.
sure will. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me know
Yeah, but we
what's up so
telling
I
the
can know
truth.
if I'm gonna keep going.
Y'all not friends.
Listen,
You said you wouldn't stop.
I wouldn't stop.
Stop it.
I sure will.
Stop it.
Listen,
Stop
listen,
it.
listen. Don't tell me. Listen,
Why not, Martin?
listen. Hold on.
Why not?
Don't ask me to save you, and you don't speak to me and mean mug at me. It is not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna keep
Oh, I
going.
forgot we ain't cool. Let me keep going. What?
Yeah,
What?
that's right. That's right. I'm a man.
Oh, my bad. We ain't
listen,
cool no more. I'm just
listen.
gonna keep.
I'm gonna mind my
What would you do if
business.
you saw me getting
Listen,
mugged, Martin? What would you do if you saw me getting mugged?
If we wasn't speaking, it wasn't your friend. I wouldn't say nothing.
Well, first of all, you
don't
ain't never
listen.
seen me,
First of
Martin.
all,
You wouldn't even know anyway. That's kind of
First
a
of all,
joke.
well, why would you ask me a question like that then?
Because
All
I
right
was
then.
joking.
I
All
was
right
about
then.
to call 911, but I
Right.
forgot we
I
ain't cool.
was joking. I was joking.
What?
Yeah, I'll keep going.
No.
I'm making a joke.
Because what I'm
Stop
just
it.
saying,
Okay,
Well,
then.
Stop it.
It's cool.
but listen, what I'm saying is, I'm 100. I'm real. One thing about me, I don't fake kick it with nobody. You let me know what it is, and you ain't got to worry about me. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm telling you.
I was too sober for that comment.
No, but that's okay. That's okay. But I'm gonna mind my business. Now listen, I told you
Way
that
too
your
sober.
son was walking down the street with a gun. Now you don't want to speak to me. He mean mug me. No problem. So when I see him, police chasing him and run after him, I ain't saying nothing. I'm staying out of it. Yeah,
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
yeah. Because see,
Okay.
I came to you. I allowed the village to come out of me, and I told you about your son. Your son walking out here with a gun. You know, now you mad at me. You're mad at me. You're mad. Because I told you your son
Okay.
walking around here carrying a gun. Now somebody got shot down the street. Now you worried about if I'm going to tell the police or not. So
Well, you know, you did all you could do. You can only keep going.
Yeah.
You can only do so much.
So
So
what
I
I'm
mean, I
just-
guess you're right in the
Right.
sense that you can only keep doing so much.
Right. You know, listen, I'm not running behind nobody to be my
But you
friend.
tried.
I try. That's it.
Okay.
Listen, I know.
Yeah, I
I know
gave
it's
him
funny.
a best shot.
You got
Okay.
permission to laugh at that. I understand. I know it's kind of comical. But
No, I
listen,
do. No,
yeah,
that I
yeah,
have
yeah.
left because you only try so hard. Like, look, I done did it. I did it. I mean, how many times do you think I'm gonna keep saying something?
Right.
You know, yeah, you're right. You can only keep trying as hard as you can. No one's saying for you to just go into a comatose state trying to help people. I mean, you don't have to do all that.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
do your part, yeah,
It's like
but you don't need to go all far like that.
listen, it's like a neighbor. You tell a neighbor, hey, it's this guy when you at work, you work at a midnight shift, just keep coming over your house late at night, and he leave early before you get home. And you tell me, mind your business, Martin. I said, no problem. No problem. Now your child found in the house strangled to death. Now you want to come over to me and ask me, have I seen anything? No, I haven't seen anything. Yeah. Now, see, this is
You
what
do that, Martin.
I'm just
Don't do
saying.
that.
No, don't tell me what to do. I'm just telling you how people don't tell me what don't do now. I got a choice to do good or bad. I do have that choice. My point is, people, we have to be careful of our neighbors. When our neighbors are trying to tell us something, we have to listen. Whether we like it or not, whether we call them a lazy or not, we have to listen. Period. Period. So I'm gonna let somebody else talk. Anybody got any questions on these lines?
No, I was just talking about that whole being a village, but I bring the village out in you. I think you just said that perfectly, and that last part about being receptive to what someone says. Because I done had more than my share of parents who, in the beginning, are not receptive, and you got to kind of understand sometimes why no one is receptive of bad news, especially from people that they don't know like that. So if you think that you're going to deliver bad news and someone's going to be immediately receptive, I don't know what planet you're living on, but no one, especially if they hardly know you, is going to be immediately grateful and receptive to bad news.
Right.
Expect for them to not be happy to hear it. Okay? No one is going to be smiling and teasing in your face if you have some bad news for them, especially if it's news about their household and they're probably not comfortable with other people knowing their household, let alone telling them about their household. So always assume that no one is happy to hear what you have to say. So you can be very nice about it and try to be understanding. And if they're going to give you a little kickback on it, understand that, yeah, it's probably not going to go well because they're not going to be happy to hear. If someone's cheesing in your face, if you tell them some bad news, they got something going on upstairs. But I really come into that issue. But I think being receptive to it, it's going to have to sink in, for a while. And anybody will have to take a minute to be receptive, but you have to try to be receptive. It's not going to happen right off the bat, especially with strangers. A neighbor who stays next door got something to say about your house. I heard music late at night. I think something may be going on. It's going to take a couple of seconds or even longer, or maybe a few conversations for it to sink in, because we have that personal space issue. People have attitudes. So like I said, I would, tell anybody to deliver bad news to expect them not to be happy.
I'll tell them. Now, listen, I can call the neighbor and say, hey, there's a man under your car right now stealing your catalytic converter. Or you just want me to don't say nothing, look out the window. I can see him under stealing your car, stealing your muffler up under your car and don't say anything. So you got to be careful, people. And don't stop the village coming out of people. Because we need our vehicles. And if you see somebody breaking in my car, call me, text me or something. We have to do things like that. That's letting the village coming out of us. We got to protect anything that's left unprotected will be taken away, period. We got to use our mind. We're not just raising children with the villages, it's helping us. Because if you don't have your form of transportation, you can't go to work. Some of us, we have to quit jobs just to stay at home and watch our houses because our children, they on bad behavior. They're allowing company coming in the house when we're not there. They're old enough to stay at home, 17, 16, 17. But when I'm going to work at this midnight ship, y'all got people coming in my house. Y'all partying. So this is real. We have to be careful, people. We need people like that in our community, and we have a safer place. I'm telling you. You got $100,000, $200,000 house. Now, Miss Mabel died across the street. She done left the house to her children. Now they done turned the house into a dope house. All type of cars coming tonight, loud music, throwing bottles out the window, throwing trash out the window, open condoms and all that. You don't want that on your block. Your investment is going to go down. That's why they have block club presidents and stuff for stuff like this. No, you don't want that for home investors. Your neighbor grass 6 feet tall. Make the block look bad. And you tired of cutting it. You're always over there cutting. You go out your way, you're cutting the grass in the front so it won't look bad in the community. You always shoveling the snow in the wintertime. Things that we do things like that to help the block, help the community, to keep our property value up. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to come a point where, hey, we're tired. We're tired. Call in number.
Well,
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Go ahead, 900.
Well, they keep it high because you keep cutting it. They figure, well, I'm gonna do it. He just gonna get out there and do it. But I get what you're saying.
Well, let me just.
You do it one time. If they elderly, that's different. But if they able-bodied, you do it one time to be nice. But even that, that's why I say I hear what you're saying, Ma. But sometimes it's just It's
just
not.
what?
It's not always that easy.
It's just what?
It's not always that
No,
easy.
no, it's
It's
not.
not always.
See, are you a homeowner? Are you a homeowner?
No. No.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. All right. All right. Any homeowners that's on here, they'll understand what I'm trying to say. They'll understand what I'm trying to say. If you're a homeowner.
I understand property value and all that, and how it makes the neighborhood look bad. I do understand that, though.
Right.
I understand that.
You know,
What I'm saying is, you got some lazy people out here, and if you keep doing things for them, it's like anything else. They're not gonna do it.
I understand that. I understand you got some lazy people out there. We got another caller, 7810.
Tiffany.
That's not that Tiffany. Go ahead, 7810. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, it's Tiffany. It's the auntie that was on your show a while ago.
I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. That's what
yeah,
I
you
told
know you know I'm listening.
Yeah, I know you're listening.
Now, when we were talking about family and we were talking about a village, my question is, when did we become so watered down? When did we start allowing society to tell us what, when, who, where to parent? Because back in the 70s and the 80s, if you was outside, if you was on a porch and you had no business being on the porch, you didn't know if it was your neighbor to your right, to your left, or across the street that called your mama. All you knew is when you came home, your mama was like, what was you doing outside? So it goes it's more than just, the manners and everything. No, because like you just said, everybody on that block invested, whether it was their home, their property, they took pride in everything that they had. If your child's outside my house using foul language, I may not say nothing to you. I may say something to you, but you better believe by the time your mama get home, she gonna know what you did. It wasn't about, I don't want to be upset and I don't want to upset them. It didn't make a difference because first, I'm an adult. Second, I may or may not be a parent. But then as an adult, you correct wrong behavior. We get so caught up in, don't say nothing to my child. Yet, unfortunately, we don't want you to say anything to our children. But if our child is out there, Lord forbid, something happens to them and they die, now we're telling the media, if you know something, say something. But see, when we were trying to talk to your child or talk to you about your child, your attitude was nasty. Don't say nothing to my child. So now so since you didn't want us to say nothing to your child then, don't want us to say nothing now. See, again, in the 70s and the 80s, it was no such thing as if you did something, your parents could be downtown in Bolingbrook, wherever they worked. They knew about it before they got home. I went to the store. When I came home at 2:30, I had to call my mother. By 2:37, if I walked back out, I walked back out to the store because I wanted to go to the store. Didn't have sense enough to go to the store before I came home. Went back out to the store. She called me at 2:49. Who told you to go to the store? I'm sitting here trying to figure out. I didn't know if it was my neighbor to the right, to the left, or across the street. All I know is my mama downtown Chicago know that on the south side of Chicago, I was at the store. So it has nothing to do. You all were talking earlier about manners and who's speaking, this, that, the other. This is my house. You're gonna speak to me.
Thank you.
Period.
Tell the truth.
It has nothing to do with my welcoming spirit. It has nothing to do. If you invite somebody to your house, it only makes sense that you would be courteous to them. You wouldn't invite somebody to your house if you don't have a nasty attitude or disposition. On the flip side of that, because it's my house, you make it your duty to speak to me first because this is my place of business. This is my residence. This is my house. Has nothing to do with, I want to have it's nice for you to have a welcoming spirit, but if you're not going to have a welcoming spirit, you ain't got no business having company in the first place. Let's just keep it real. It has nothing to do about household. It's about manners. We were all instilled, you speak when you walk into a room, even if it ain't nobody in the room or they come in first or second, you still speak. And society has told us what to do, how to do it, how to parent. We walk around here on eggshells because we don't, I don't want to get into it. I'm just worried about me and mine. But that's not the way to be because that's not how back in the day our community thrived.
And shame the devil.
That's not how we thrived. That's not how we became a community. We can't become a community because your child is outside playing in the dirt, knowing that Mr. Smith across the street gets his grass manicured every year or every week. You out there digging in the dirt, digging up worms. You know somebody's going to come tell you now, you ain't got no business doing X, Y, and Z. Why are you messing with that man's lawn? Get your bike off his grass. That's the way it was. And nobody felt no type of way about it if they said something to you, because parents wanted to know what their child was doing because we couldn't be everywhere all the time.
Say it. And that's
So because we had somebody to help us and to say, and you can call it snitching, you can call it whatever it was, but I bet you every child on that block knew what the business was, knew what to do, what not to do, who to say it to, and who not to say it to.
Oh yeah.
You hit
that's the village.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm gonna give you another example of what you said, sister, to help you out a little bit on something there. Now suppose I tell my neighbor to the right that I seen her son running from something. Okay, then the very next day, somebody come on a porch and shoot her. She get mad at me and don't call her, cuss me out. And she know I got cameras around my house, all around my house. Now her son gets shot on the porch. Now all of a sudden she wants to talk to me now and do how to record. I could just say, hey, I'm not in, and close my door.
You could.
I could. I'm just saying.
But the cameras weren't working.
Right. And I could say, you could. My cameras wasn't working. I could say that. But see, that's why we have to be careful, people. We have to be careful. No parent, even include myself, I don't want to hear nothing bad about my children doing something wrong. I don't want to hear it. But I got to listen.
Right.
I got to listen.
I'm going to listen, and I'm going to take it for what it's worth, and I'm going to correct the behavior behind doors on my end.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not going to come at you and have beef if you corrected my child, because first of all, my child knows better. Now, what they do in the streets and what I teach them at home is always two different things. So if you see something going on with my child, I'm not going to say, well, don't tell me nothing about my child. Mind your business, this, that, and the other. Well, use that same attitude when something happens. Now you want to use my resources or my knowledge or what I know, or why you didn't do this, that, and the other. Well, when I was trying to talk to you, you told me to mind my business, so don't say nothing to your child. So you got to pick a struggle. A village is not always, it's a family, but some of your blood relatives don't make your family. And I always tell this to people, blood ain't no thicker than water because they both run out. So the family has become your neighbor, the lady at the end of the block who everybody would deem is crazy and talk too much and nosy. Your family became the whole environment in which you lived in. And it was an expectation that was set. It wasn't debated about. It wasn't controversy about it. This was the standard that was set for this block. Now, what they did on 2 blocks over had nothing to do with us. But for this block and for the 13 or 14 houses that were on this block, this is the standard that we have set for people that move in as well as their children and their children's children. And that's where they, like you said, they came up with the block club. And it was more than sitting down, eating tea, being nosy, looking out the window and having cookies and crumpets. No. It was more about what we're going to do to stabilize our community and make sure that it's respected and we don't tolerate a bunch of nonsense. And it was never an issue. It was never an issue. My grandmother lived in her house for 55 years. She knew each person that moved and came in and out. She could tell you each and everything that happened. Not one time did she have a parent come to her and say, you need to mind your business. So what if you see my son outside smoking weed? That ain't your business. He ain't in front of your house. Because the standard was set. You understood. Hey, you know what? I may smoke weed, but let me go on the next block. Let me walk down the street or something on the main street, because I ain't got time for nobody to be telling my mom or my dad or my auntie or whoever my legal guardian was what I'm doing, because we had that much respect. But we've allowed society to tell us what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and so much that it became so watered down. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, you do have to use wisdom in some of the things you do and say. Because some of these people, they ain't working with a full deck. They got birthday candles with no wick. So you do have to use discretion, and you have to be smart about what it is you say and to who you say it, because everybody doesn't have that welcoming, okay, well, thank you, I appreciate it. So you do have to use discernment. I'm not trying to be your mama, but as an adult first, if I see some behavior that's not in alignment of what I think you should be doing, or anybody for that matter, whether I'm a parent or not, I'm going to address it. It's not always what you do, it's how you do it. I told my kids the famous Bill Cosby thing. I'm going to serve you a steak and broccoli and potato, your favorite meal, on a garbage top. Are you offended? Yeah. Why are you offended? I put my whole heart and spirit and soul into it. I'm offended because my presentation was wrong. My intentions were good, but my presentation was wrong. That's what makes the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to tell another parent how to parent their child. I'm going to say, hey, I saw so-and-so doing such and so, just thought you need to be aware. Now, like you said, what you do with the information I tell you, that's your business.
That's your business. That's your business.
If you correct it, you correct it. If you don't, you don't. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I did my part, 1 as an adult and 2 as a parent.
Mm-hmm. That's that village coming out.
I pray Godspeed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I pray Godspeed over your child and your situation. I'm going to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I'm not afraid of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Gun or no gun.
Mm-hmm.
Curse word or no curse word.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rule when you walked in my house, children, you speak.
Mm-hmm.
My son and my daughter's friends always knew, did you go speak to my mother? And you didn't have to tell them that, because if 2 seconds you didn't speak, I just opened the door and told you to stand on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
What you do in your house is your business.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in my house, you belong to me and everything that's in here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about so much. It is about activating the village within you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about getting to just the core basics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as society, we have lost it. We have allowed a book to tell us some stuff. Yeah, the books are good, but some stuff is just common old plain sense.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with whether I like you or I don't like your son. I may not can't stand your son, but at the end of the day, he's still a child.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the
And
truth.
behavior
and
if
shame
the
devil.
behavior is not corrected, I'm gonna be the one to correct it or bring it to your attention for you to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
And too many times you don't correct it, I'll go ahead and correct it.
And it, I'll give you an example. It's just like the neighbor's son and 4 of his friends, they leaning on your car. All of them sitting on the hood of your car. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
Mhm.
That's a no-no. I don't care if you got a regular car on the block. Do not sit on
That's not
my
your
vehicle.
property.
That's right. That's right. And some people,
It's respect.
it's called respect. It's called respect. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. And we have to show that, people. We have to show respect. And that's what I was trying to say earlier, people. I'm not on here trying to debate, and but this is respect goes a long way, and we have to let the village come out of us. It's respect. And when we do that, we can take our communities back. We ain't got to be scared to walk
Absolutely.
down. We don't have to be scared to walk down. We're paying a mortgage, a $1,500 a month mortgage, but we scared to come outside after dark. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Oh.
$1,500 a month mortgage, then we afraid to come out because guys standing in front of our house. Well, I can't go back out there because they out there now. Now, I'm afraid. Come on, people. Where
Right.
they do that at?
Because I can tell you, not an auntie or a grandmother back in the 70s, 80s was scared be standing in front of my house or my apartment complex when I come downstairs. You won't be standing there when I come back. We wasn't worried about it. Wasn't, and I'm only 48. I'm a 70s baby. My kids are 23 and 30. You don't come in my house and even open my refrigerator
Thank you.
without washing your hands and asking first. You're welcome to what's in there. But you're not going to just walk in there and open up the refrigerator, what you got to eat, whatever you bought, because this ain't your house. So ask first. And depending on the way the wind blow, I might tell you you're welcome to it. I might tell you you're not. But it's a respect. And if you don't demand it, you won't get it.
That's it. And last I heard,
She said,
go ahead. Somebody's going to say something. Now,
no, Miss Tiffany said, oh,
go ahead.
Miss
Go
Tiffany
ahead.
said it all. Her comment.
Go ahead, 917.
Hey, Tiffany.
Yeah,
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, and no, Miss Tiffany said it all. I mean, her common sense is so uncommon. Unfortunately, a lot of it's happened in this phone call tonight too. But I also believe in being spoke to as well. It allows me to read the character of the person, especially if it's our teenagers or maybe our 21, 25-year-olds who still stay at home or whatever. So I think that she hit all the point factors, and she was also very spoke to with what Martin has been saying. Every time Martin speaks to me, he's always correct anyway, so it don't matter. But But yeah, Miss Marie, lay off of Martin tonight. You got him a little frustrated. Don't do
She
that
got
to
me
him.
frustrated.
He's
She
such
got
a
herself
sweetheart.
frustrated. She don't know what she
I ain't
talking.
frustrated, Martin.
She
I ain't frustrated.
She ain't got me frustrated because I just listen. I'm trying to get her to understand. Everything is a debate with her, you know, and it takes the thing. It takes what we trying to do here off the subject. Then when I start don't want her to speak, then she thinking I'm acting funny toward her. But this program is
What's
not.
wrong with a debate, Martin? A
listen,
healthy
but
debate, as long as we respect each other. What's wrong with
everything
that?
is not a debate. It's not a debate
Well,
when
a
you knock.
conversation,
First
debate,
of all,
same thing.
First of all, when you knock on somebody's door, you speak. Period.
I never said that. I never said that. You misunderstood.
No, I didn't say you didn't say that, but I'm saying that. You know, you.
And I said I agree with you. I said I agree. So what's the problem?
Maria, he blocks people from calling in. A lot of time when people get to arguing like that with him, he'll block people and say, you can't call. He's been very, very kind with you tonight. I don't take sides like that, but he's a sweetheart. And I'm telling you,
look, Tiffany, you ain't. I don't know if you be listening or whatever, but I've been on Martin's show for the past few weeks or so, and we've been fine. So Martin, of course, like I always say, this is Martin's show. He can do what he want to do. If he feel whenever he want to block me, that's fine.
I never
because at one point, you know, he told me not to call in no more. And I didn't call in for what, 6-7 months or whatever. I didn't even listen to the show. But then I got when the Brandon Johnson thing came on or whatever, I hit up Martin's show maybe like 2 months ago, something like that, maybe like a month ago. No, it was like 2 months ago, and I was like, and ever since then I've been calling in, and we've been fine.
Yeah. Right, but he's our
right, Martin.
Yeah, we've been fine.
Superhero though. He's our superhero.
Yeah, but
he's our superhero.
Yeah, I was gonna
go ahead.
I ain't got
the young lady who spoke.
I ain't got nothing against Martin. I don't even know him.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I heard my name called, but I don't know who said something to me about any. I just heard Tiffany. I don't know.
It's two Tiffany's. It's two Tiffany's, right?
Oh,
yeah, it's two Tiffany's.
Okay.
It's two Tiffany's.
I was saying Miss Tiffany.
Yeah, I was talking about the young lady who just spoke.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was about to say that I agree with a lot what you were saying, except for that one part. I know you guys say speak and spoken to, but I just wanted to point out that I was a very soft-spoken and very obedient and respectful child. And I went to visit a friend, and when we came in, I stood at the door. You know, after we came in, I just stood at the door. And I had a friend told me to go have a seat. I went to have a seat on the sofa. And then the mother came in. She went in on me. I mean, she went in, just yelling, "You come up with someone else. You know how to speak." And then I let her finish because I wasn't that type of kid, you know, that speak. And I was like, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to walk to the back of your house. I didn't think that was right." And that she was expecting me to, when I came in, to walk to where she was and introduce myself. And then the friend I was with said to do that. And I told him, I don't feel comfortable walking through your house. And then she came in and went in on me. So I'm just saying that I do get what you guys are saying about speaking, but there are certain things that come along with that, like to that incident where, you know, you don't walk through people's house, you don't go to the refrigerator, you don't go to their stuff. So I admit that if you're in the same room, of course you exchange pleasantries.
Yeah.
But I was just saying that just took me back to that moment where she literally came to scream right in my face like I committed some sort of sin because I didn't walk through her house and introduce myself. She said, "You come to someone else, you introduce yourself, but you walk through their house to where they are and introduce yourself." And my parents did not. You do not do that. You do not go anywhere unless they tell you to. If they don't, you don't just go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, go here, go sit. They say sit here, that's where you're sitting. Or if you guys are going to a place, that's where you're going. You just don't walk in and you just anywhere. And you definitely don't just go walking around, and introduce yourself. So after she heard that, she calmed down and she was fine. But I was just saying, she just took me back to that trauma. I was just saying, like, if you see a child who's soft-spoken, just go a little easy on them. Because I was one of those kids where, so shy, a little soft-spoken, and I meant no harm.
Well, I would say this: your friend ain't your friend. Your friend wasn't your friend because if she know how her mama is, she set you up. She should. She
Well,
set you up
the thing is
because
that you did tell me that. You did tell, but I was in my place. I did say, I can't go walking through your house. But that was my thing. My parents were like, you don't do that. There's under no circumstances do you walk around anybody's house. And that's where they came from. So I'm just saying, I hear what you're saying, but if you guys ever run into a very polite, soft-spoken child,
my friends had friends like that. They did, and I made myself. I made myself available, and it wasn't that I chopped their head off. I came out and I was like, hello, and I spoke. Well, they spoke. They was like, hi, Miss So and So, when they saw me, because they already knew. But I didn't come out screaming. Why you walk in my house and you didn't necessarily speak?
Yeah, I had that.
You were new to my house.
Traumatizing.
If you were new to my house, I
still
expect you to speak. I still expect you to speak now.
Yeah, I still appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. But I was very soft spoken. And I've meant no harm. And I was one of those kids who were very polite. So if you see anybody in your life who's polite and they are trying, I know that you may have these rules about yourself, but also be responsive to, that some people are not as outgoing as others, and they may not be as.
Everybody's not going to be the same.
Yeah, I mean, some people are soft-spoken and quiet. I'm like that. I'm very soft-spoken and quiet. I'm not very outlandish, so I'm very polite. I wait people to speak, and it's not a rude thing, But some people, they stand on what they feel, and they expect people to be a certain way, regardless of what their personality is. So I always say, if you have goodness in your heart, then it's all going to come out good anyway. So, as far as, the village, it has to come out in you. I agree with what Martin said earlier, but that seed in you has to be sown first. You got to get off whatever you're on, because I have people who came from that traumatic atmosphere where they had people walking up in their house disrespecting them. So the moment they felt somebody was being that way, they would just go in because they already had that trauma inside of them. So it didn't matter if someone was soft-spoken or not. They already had that habit of, they're coming at me. Let me go ahead and tell them what's up. And that is not a way that us as Black people, we're often very guarded, because of our traumas. And we do have to be a little more, I don't want to say anybody has to be more softer, but a lot of Black folks have a lot of trauma, and they just come out swinging. And a lot of people like myself mean no harm. And I've had many yelled at.
Yeah, beautiful. Let me say
and
something.
I just think if you got a lot of trauma,
I understand.
You just try harder.
You're soft-spoken. I understand that, but you still got to speak when you come to people's house. I understand walking through that. But
I do. But some people, they have that trauma, and then they go in, like kids, you talk about their children, but some people have that trauma when it comes to their children, where they have people who in their lives who've been trying to tell them about their kids in this negative way. So anybody who come out in a softer way,
y'all do me a favor?
They just go in.
Y'all got babies in the background.
Like that?
Hold on, let me get it. I'll talk to them. I'll tell them. Don't
Like
it's
a
not
wild
funny.
pet.
Yeah, y'all got
that's
the background. Okay, we
that's
got
probably my end.
okay, no problem. We got Old Timer. I think he
Hey,
just
hey.
I was wondering if he was going to call in.
Yeah, he just hung up. I just missed him. He'll call right back. He'll call right back. He just call back, Old Timer. But it pay to be nice people, be cordial with people, and we have to let the village come out of us. Everybody's not going to be the village, and make sure that you're the village. If you see something, you say something. That's all. That's all I'm asking you guys. Have some compassion on somebody.
Yeah.
You know what?
And also, I was going to say that the yelling, I'm sorry, the yelling was, no, I do have to say this, that the yelling was my end. That's my daughter. She's disabled. She's getting a little fussy.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I do have to go.
Okay.
But that's what I had to interrupt, because she's the one who's fussy, and I don't want her to keep interrupting your conversation. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And I was very, no. How could you have known? How could you possibly have known? But she's getting fussy, and thank you, Martin. I'll talk to you again, and I don't want her to interrupt your conversation anymore. But you guys have a very good night, and I'm still going to be listening.
Okay. Old Timer. Come on, Old Timer. Old Timer. I know he got a whole lot
Hey,
to
Old
say.
Timer. I want to see what you got to say.
Old Timer, I want to come on, talk to us. Come on, Old Timer.
Yeah, kick me off 2 times.
I didn't do
But
that.
I enjoyed the conversation. So that's okay.
Okay.
The sister was saying a lot of truthful statements. And, you know, I guess we have to decide that when our children are young, how we going to bring them up and make them toe the line as to how their life is going to be structured. You know, because, you know, all of us on the line say that when they get 12 years old, it's too late. You know, people say it's too late, that their ways are already formed in them and they're already set. So
it's true.
People, I mean, we've been told this, but we have to, you know, I ain't gonna say grab them by the ear, but they have to be disciplined. And if they're not disciplined, I mean, just imagine. I'm not making no comparison, but I had a dog at home, and supposedly I was training the dog to use the paper. And if the dog didn't use the paper, then you know, well, you know what else will happen. So I'm saying, you know, everybody has to be trained, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, because if you're not trained, people will tell you all the time what you do at home, that's what you're gonna do outside. So our children, we go to the restaurant. Children get up from the table, leave the chair from under the table. They don't take and push the chair, leave crumbs all up on the table. These things are possible to happen. And when we see it, you know, that's when we're supposed to step in. And because I don't like, he's up down in Texas down there. And for some reason, he started calling me, instead of calling me Pawpaw, he started calling me Pops. I said, wait a minute. I said, where you get this Pop stuff from? He said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no. I said, where did you get that from, though? Because I don't recall you saying that. Then I know that people call their father Pops. I never called my father Pops, but, you know, it could be a term of endearment. I don't know, but to me, you know, the Pawpaw part was okay for me. But I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff that you have to fight against nowadays, because basically, I mean, you're supposed to tell your friends, well, that's my grandfather, and you're supposed to say that's my grandmother. But we got different cutoff points that we have brought in. But as long as you don't cross the line, you know, and it's respectful, you know, it can help the child, you know, his integrity, because you need to have that amongst your friends, because, you know, when you bring your friends to your house, you know, they're supposed to be properly introduced. You're the one bringing them to my house. So you bring them in there and say, hey, this is John, this is my father, this is my mother. Now, you know, you're supposed to make them wait outside to go in there and make sure everything is okay, presentable for you to bring them up in there. You just don't bring people to the house and things is out of order. I mean, your mother may be not properly dressed. Father may not be properly dressed. So you don't just run people up in there. When I say properly dressed, their house, they can dress the way they want. Right. You know, when you bring your friends back, then you go and say, hold on, let me go inside, and then I'll be right back out. You know, and stuff like that. You can't be ashamed to say that. The children got to have a strong, structured environment. If not, they're gonna put you to shame.
Yep.
They're gonna put you to shame in some ways, man. It's just not. I mean, I get to the point where I don't like the way my children. I say you just guzzling down your water. You're not even drinking your water properly. You know, it can be a lot of things that children can start doing that if you don't train them right, you know, it's not going to be faring well a lot of times. Okay. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Hold on, old timer. I want to welcome. We got a first-time person in the room here, Nakia Finley. Bless you, peace and blessing. I hope you was listening, and we've said a lot of important things here tonight. We're talking about the village, but also we was talking about manners too. Who should speak when you come? Who should speak first when you come to someone's house? We were talking about that. But old time, I need to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Somebody called me. I want to ask you a question, old timer. If I lived on your block and I didn't cut my grass, just say I live next door to you, and you start cutting a couple of times, how would you address that?
Well, what I start doing is I start cutting part of your grass. I'm gonna start cutting part of your grass that's next to mine. Instead of stopping at the property line, I'm gonna go over a little bit more so you can start to get the message. And that should be good enough right there. You're gonna start seeing that, I need to cut my grass, and I'm gonna keep on doing that until you get the message.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Now, how would you
on both sides?
How would you address if you have neighbors that have a lot of company, loud music, throwing bottles on the lawn, open condoms, and just all types of really, just all down. How would you guys address that in a block club part? Just like you have not a block club, you have a block club. How would you address that when one of your neighbors?
Well, I mean, I address mine through the authorities. I know, the mayor, the chief of police. I mean, he's not doing it. Those are the authorities the ways that you have to take. Say, hey, one of we kind of got a little problem over here, and you can ride by there and see it. So they'll do some ride bys, and then from there, if the matter, if it don't change, then I can talk to the neighbor, hopefully, I can talk to them, but sometimes that don't work, and I've been around enough to know that a lot of times it don't work, but if they get it from the authorities, then the authorities, they can't argue with the authorities, and there, that's when you start to see it, and then sometimes they'll get mad because you talk to the authorities. I've seen it happen. As a matter of fact, I'm dealing with a situation right now. That's the fact that you even say that I had to talk to the mayor about it. The mayor said, "Okay, I'm gonna see," and so part of it's been resolved already. But I didn't have to say nothing. I haven't said nothing to the other person about it. But I did talk to the mayor about it. So you got to have conflict resolution. Is that sometimes I can't say nothing, but somebody higher than me, they can say something, and then now you got to have your little beef that you're going to have is with them, not with me now. But you should see the way that I'm doing, and you should desire to do that same thing. You shouldn't come into the neighborhood, because I heard you saying something about people leaning on people's cars and stuff. You should develop ways that enhance the neighborhood. And you should see it. You should see that at this time of night, how quiet it is. You should be able to come out on your front porch and stretch. And if you want to sit on your step for 15 minutes and go back in the house, you should be able to do that. And it'll be quiet. You might be a dog bark, but most of the people have their dogs inside nowadays. They don't keep them outside. So now you should be able to come out, and stretch on your side, stretch on your front porch, and going back up in the house.
Now let me just
if you got some,
I want to say this to you.
Yeah.
I think you should at least give the neighbor a benefit of the doubt, one conversation about the traffic and the loud music, the company coming. I think as a neighbor, that would be the right thing to do.
Oh, wow.
That's me personally. I think it's the right thing to do, to address the neighbor first. Then if it carry on, then you go to the proper authorities, things like that, because you don't want your property value.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you don't want your property value go down, and you want to maintain the quietness on the block and things like that, because we've seen it. You probably have seen it in your lifetime where Miss So-and-so died and her children grown children took over the house. Now it's a flop house. Now they didn't turn it to a dope house. We've seen it. A lot of us that live in these areas, we have seen stuff transpire like that. Then 2 years later, they lost the house now to back taxes. It didn't happen. I mean, their mother was a wonderful neighbor. She was a beautiful person. But when she died, her children didn't keep the upkeep. They didn't cut the grass. They had company all night long. It was just a wreck. It was just a nuisance on the block. that one house. And we've seen that, you know, and, you know, most people that purchase houses and condos, those are big purchases. And it's like an investment. So I think being kind and considerate to the neighbors first, then you handle it. And I'm going to tell you guys something. You guys won't believe what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. I remember when I was back in the days, back in the 90s, and I was gang affiliated, and we used to have meetings. And this is what we said in our meetings. And we were selling drugs on the block and everything. When we see the neighbors come, hard to see, let them come out. Don't stand in front of certain neighbor's house. You know, we had that. Then if you see some neighbors struggling with some bags, you help them carry the bags inside. I mean, this is coming from a gang affiliation. This is what we were talking about in meetings. You know, try to be courteous to it's bad enough we standing outside in front of people's property, but it's certain things that they told us that we should be doing on that block. And you wouldn't believe it. This is coming from gang members. Some of y'all don't believe that type, but it's
right.
real talk. That's real talk.
That's true. Yeah, right. Yep, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah. So
Martin, it's just, go ahead.
Hold on. So that you'll be surprised of how many people you think bad of them and the way they're thinking. You'll be surprised. You definitely will be surprised. Okay, go ahead, 900.
I was going to say, yeah, I agree. Like, same thing. Like, let's say you live in an apartment, and you know your neighbor upstairs is playing music loud. Instead of going to the apartment, instead of first going to the leasing manager to the, you know, and complaining, you know, just go up there and knock on the door first, you know, and just nicely ask them, because a lot of times, you know, I know personally for me, if I was doing something wrong, you know, whether I knew my neighbor or not, I would respect and appreciate if they came and knocked on my door first rather than just going and telling management, because, you know, it's kind of hostile if you ask me. But I agree with that.
Yeah. Somebody, hey, old time, that bunch of noise in your background, man? I think that's you coming from all that noise. But so these are the things that we have to be careful allowing the village to come out of us, people. And all it takes is a conversation with the right tone, the right body language too. You know, the right body language. You know, I think this was a great show.
Yeah, don't be all ghetto and loud, and you know, just be nice.
Just be nice. You know, be nice.
Just be approachable. You know, be approachable.
Right. Because you might need your neighbor one day. You know, you might get
somebody crying.
No, you might get locked out of your house. You might lock your keys in your car. Any little thing. You might need your neighbor to take you to go pick up to pick up your car from the shop. It's just, it pay to just be nice. You don't have to invite them over to the barbecue and all. It don't take all that. But just be nice and be cordial. You might need a jump from a neighbor one day.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things.
I've done that for my neighbors before. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Several times. They came and knocked them out early in the morning too. I'm talking 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people.
Damn.
I was in the bed. You know, and so, you know, but I was still a good neighbor. It was cold out. I gave her a jump, you know, but a lot of people nowadays, man, you see this MF came to my door at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and wanted to, you know, you don't be like that.
Right.
Don't be like, you got the means, if you can help, you know, if you can help somebody, something simple as that, you know, just go ahead and help them, you know.
We got a new call. They just called back. I don't know why it's keep knocking people off the live though. Off the phone line.
It was Keena Nicole. I heard the thing.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. But all right, we're gonna take this last caller and we'll be done. I think I've been on here a couple hours. Yeah, we're gonna take the last call, and that'll be it. Okay. Oh yeah. Somebody said they'll be nice to you, let you know you got the boot. We here. Okay, caller, 6557.
Keena Nicole.
Hey, Keena Nicole. Hey, Keena Nicole. Hey, go ahead. You got the floor. Keena.
Hey, Martin. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
I'm glad your surgery
Hey.
went well.
Um,
You're gonna be our last caller,
y-
so go ahead.
I appreciate it. Martin, when I lived on 73rd and Greenwood, right, it was so
Oh,
many
you know the Greens then, huh?
ganger bangers
You know
over
the
there.
Greens and stuff over there. Okay, my people used to live on that block too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I stayed in a complex though, but
Okay, I know what you say.
I
Okay, that
knew a
complex.
lot of the,
Go ahead.
hmm
Go ahead.
a lot of people. It was a lot of gang bangers over there, right?
Pocket time.
I wasn't scared of them though. I wasn't. I just would speak to them all the time. So a lot of times they would see me and my daughter coming in, and they would be like, "Ma'am, I can get this. I can help you. I can get your groceries, whatever, you know." And I did not know, Martin, until looking on YouTube, some of these same people had did a whole lot of stuff. They had videos about it, but I mean, nobody could pay me to imagine. So, like, when people judge, you gotta be careful with that because those same people was helping me. Made sure when I was coming in late at night from work and all of that, nobody bothered me. I never had a problem over there. You know what I'm saying? Them same guys always made sure there was a lookout and everything. I never had to worry about anything. Not me, not my daughter, not my husband, none of us. So the only thing I can tell people is like when you see the younger folks, don't be scared. All you got to do is say, "Hey, how y'all doing?" You know, and that right there can open up a window. You never know. So that was just my little thing. And then, I mean, too, for us, the way I grew up, my family fed folks. We didn't ask for anything in return. We just fed people. They came over to the house hungry, thirsty, whatever. We just, you hungry, you thirsty, come on, eat with us. And I mean, we're still like that now. You know, if you're hungry, you can come over here and you can eat some food. And that's just what we do. And we don't ask somebody for nothing. It's just something that I feel like we as people should do. Help the next one. You know what I mean? So I don't know. As far as like the loud noise and everything, it's kind of tricky with that. I wouldn't necessarily call the police first. I would try to, in a nice, subtle way, talk to my neighbor. You know what I mean? Some people are not approachable, but I've not ever had an issue with my neighbors. You know, I was always able to go and talk to my neighbors. So it's your approach too. You got to keep that in mind. If you go up to them and, "Hey, you was all loud," that's a problem. You know, if you tell them, "Hey, you know, I got to get up at 3 in the morning," it's a way that you can do everything. Is all I'm trying to say. And if you come respectful, like, you'll be surprised with the outcome. So that's just my take on it, Martin. I just wanted to come on and say hey and add my little 2
Okay,
cents.
thank
That's
you.
all.
That's the village, you guys. That's the
Yeah,
village.
bro, Martin.
Yeah, go ahead, old timer. I'm trying to get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah. What that part you said? Yeah, I jumped the gun on it to a lot. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, you should have try to build up a rapport with the neighbors. You know, and if you know something's on the whack a little bit, you know, you deal with it. But if when it gets to just if it's a chronic situation, then then you try to address it in different ways. But I agree that you should have something because I mean the person don't have to do it exactly the way that I do things, but the loud music, you know, well, I mean it could be anything. People walking across the grass, you got to maintain decorum in your neighborhood, and people should respect the neighborhood where they live, and that's all, and that goes a long way, because that I understand that people when they come down to gangbangers, drug dealers, well, we know these people. I mean, we know them. We grew up with them and stuff. It ain't nothing. If man, you done went off in the field and stuff, and then now, but one thing about it, we do have to understand that once they go off into left field, I mean, they develop a different type of spirit, and just like in that movie, what was that movie, South Central? The man told him, he said, "Now you an outsider, and I will do you in," like that, So he didn't want the boy tried to do right, and the other boy still wanted to do wrong, and so he wanted to try to save his son from falling into this man's hands. And so he told me, he said, that ain't the right way, J-Rock. That ain't the right way to go about it. Another boy said, it is the right way. And he said, get back, Bobby, because you're an outsider, and I will do you in. So some of these boys that we know, when you speak to them, they for a while, they're going to go along with, I'm going to help these people and stuff. But once they start bringing other people around, and then they be seeing you getting off work, and you got maybe a nice car or whatever, and they may know a couple things about you. They say, man, well, you got a good job and stuff. He's working and making a lot of money. Well, see, that information fall into the other person's hand, and next thing you know, they done did something. Broken in people's house and different things. So they can't control everything. So basically, you don't need to have that kind of activity in the neighborhood. And if they're gonna do it, man, they need to really get that up out of there, because somebody's gonna be running short on money and different things. They're gonna go to drastic measures to do whatever it is, and that just unfortunately gonna happen. So you got to maintain the rapport with them, but at the meantime, they got to know that you're serious too.
Right. Let me just say this. I want to say, to what you said is 100% correct. I believe that too. So it's like the Nakia Finley said, but sometimes it really don't be the neighbors, it's the company that they keep, and that is 100% correct. 100% correct. It be the company that they keep.
Right. That's true.
We had to be careful of that too. We definitely have to be careful of that.
Yeah.
But to me, it's been a great show tonight.
Well, let me ask you this question. I want to ask you a question, Martin. And anybody else that been listening, I want to know why this question. Why do you think that other people don't allow gang activity and drugs sold in their neighborhood, but then it can easily be said, well, you can go in the black community and get drugs, and then they say, well, white people, so to speak, they own drugs, but they come over to the black community and get it. Now, what do you think that is now? Because that goes a long way.
I'm going to tell you something.
It's all by design.
Let me just say this. A lot of you people, and I shouldn't say you people, a lot of us don't even know white people because we don't live around them. Those of us that live around people, we see they do the same things we do. It's just our stuff is magnified. You go to one of these trailer parks over in Blue Island, they're selling dope, doing everything. But you won't know unless you live there.
I agree.
You won't know.
I agree.
But it's not on the news.
Right, but that's in the trailer park.
Right,
that's in the trailer park, Mike. But I'm talking about it's known.
But they still white. Those trailer parks are predominantly white. They're still white. They do the same thing in these little areas. So it's no difference. You never hear about the police at the trailer park on the news. Never. Never. You don't. Seriously. You don't. They got.
Well, you know the reason why that is?
I don't even care what reason. I already know why it is. You know what I'm saying? But they use drugs, and matter of fact, they are the number one consumers of drugs because they got more money than we have. So they have more money to buy drugs than black people. Especially for those once a month. Yeah. Especially for those that get money once a month. That's a fixed income. Seriously. So, I mean, that's why they live separate from us, so we can't see what they're doing. I was at the, I'm going to say this. I was in Wisconsin on a protest. Jacob Blake got shot by the police. And we was out there protesting, a bunch of blacks and whites. Them white people had guns, they had drugs and everything. Talking slick, all types of stuff. I'm telling you. They had guns. I said, they just like us. But they don't. It don't get put out. And when the shooting broke out there, it was some white folks. Because when I was out there, they had guns on them. I'm talking about protesters, white protesters.
I know.
They were smoking weed, doing drugs. We just don't live around them. Some of us.
And they do the same thing.
They do the same thing, but
they do the same thing up in the country area.
Yeah.
McHenry County, Lake McHenry. Out there in Belvedere, Harvard, they do the same thing out there, and over here in Antioch, up there close to the state line, they do all those things that you're talking about. But you know, they feel that they people is in the drug treatment program, and they all buy into it. So what they do, they start letting these people go. Like when Trump was in office, Trump he picked up the opioid. How many people was on opioids? But the white people wouldn't complain about it because it was spread out. Say this is where they at. See, so they all in it together. But I want to know, how can they figure they can come to the black community to get the drugs? So that's what I want to know. Why is it that they can come over here and do?
Well, white people are not black people target. I can walk down 63rd and Halsey and probably get my brains blown out before a white person would. Period. Just it's it. They don't look at white people as their opposition. That's how it looks, as their ops. So they know two things.
Okay.
Either white people in the neighborhood that buy drugs or they the police. One of the two. That's it. When I grew up on 61st and Cottage Grove, when the white people started taking over, gentrifying the area, man, people was getting shot all down Cottage Grove. You never hear nothing about white people getting shot. They walk to the green line and nobody gets shot. You don't hear about none of them. But black people walk through there, you might get it. It's a mindset, old timer. It's a mindset. Two different levels, but that's a whole different show. Old time.
Okay, but
what if you Mexican? What if you Mexican? It's the same thing. What if you Hispanic looking? It's the same thing.
You ain't gonna. They ain't gonna. Too many of them gonna walk through the black neighborhood. The blacks don't walk through the Mexican.
But no, what happened though? If you Hispanic looking? What do they do? Will they do something to you?
Probably not. I would say probably not.
Oh, okay.
If
All right.
no, they're not gonna do nothing to them because they're not gonna do nothing to them because it's been shown all in the movies. They say, man, you don't want to mess with the SA. You don't want to mess with there's one group you don't want to mess with. Black people know.
What if you are? What if you are a black woman? Or do it only apply to black men? I don't be on the South Side like that. But what if you are a black woman? Do they do something to you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well,
damn.
Yeah, it's sad. Listen, people.
Because my mom, she always talking about she want to go on the South Side to visit certain restaurants, and I'm always telling her I'm not going over there. And I told you my mom is black, and she's dark skinned, so hearing that don't make me feel too good. Because I tell her, look, I don't want to go over there. You know, we don't know the South Side. You know, we know the West Side. So I just have to ask that.
Okay, no problem.
And she don't know either.
No problem. Well. Hey, old time, I got to get off this live. You say your questions for next time. Thank y'all, people. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be on a little late tomorrow, but see you guys tomorrow. All right, people.
Bye.
Thank you.
Tell the truth
And shame the
and
devil.
shame the devil. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
Good night, everybody.